Alright, so here's a little demo of using 10-point tracking with driver for VR's Xbox Kinect 1 Kinect, and I'm also using a Vive tracker because right now the beta for the 10-point tracking is broken. It doesn't let you, the tracker for the hip just doesn't show up, and it's really cursed because you have to disable it in in the software, and then you can't disable it in Steam VR, so you have to disable it in the other thing. And because it won't let you use your Vive tracker, it just kind of doesn't show up, and it's really cursed, and I don't know why. And so, but now we're here, and I finally got it to work. um, yeah, it's actually pretty decent, surprisingly. It was actually really bad because I had a monitor behind me and it was reflective and it made everything broken. Um, but yeah, it's actually really fun to play with. Just doing this over and over again. Like, I keep my hands still, I can move my elbows, and it's really fun to play with. And it kind of gets broken sometimes when you calibrate. If you found out, if you yeah, you can kind of see it. If I completely extend my elbows, it kind of like flips my arms upside down, and it will always calibrate wrong. So you have to like calibrate a little bit with your hands forward. It doesn't mess up the calibration as far as I can tell, as far as VR chat calibrates to it. As far as I can tell, you can see when I mean, you can't really tell, but there's a bit of a delay when I do this, and it isn't perfect as you can see. But sorry, I'm out of breath. But it doesn't mess up your arms normally, which is really nice. All VR chat does for the elbows, both elbows and the knees, when you have elbow and knee trackers, and you can also do tracker for your upper chest as well. I didn't know that at first, but apparently you can. Um, I was trying to do the other two Vive trackers I have with my feet, and if you disable in the software, it kind of just breaks everything, and you get no trackers. And if you leave it by default, it gives you like an invisible tracker that doesn't work at all and doesn't show up in Steam VR. And you have to disable and get an actual tracker, or use like whatever that freaking phone one's called, OO track. You could probably use that too. Um, yeah, it was a painful process. Every time you wanted to change something, you have to restart your whole PC because Steam VR doesn't let me restart it because it says my display is broken because my cable's breaking. They send me a new one and it still hasn't come yet. It's a big process. It was a whole, took me the whole like 5 hours to get to this point, and literally it should have taken me like pushing two buttons. But we're here now, and I don't remember what I was talking about. But the elbow, it just uses the rotation of the tracker. You could throw the freaking tracker across the room, your avatar won't go with it. It just uses rotation. This the freaking like upper part, it only just twists. It twists and then it follows the location of your hip and head. Apparently, I mean, I kind of just held it here with my freaking neck, my foot tracker, just to see, and yeah, that's how I found out. You could probably also just use, if you use 3-point already, 3-point Vive tracker with the hip and the feet, you could probably do a hip and also your elbows just to play around with it. Although I want to do that, I probably should freaking clean my shit first. I haven't cleaned in a while. Freaking smelly feet, arms. Um, but yeah, the feet though, the feet are freaking obnoxious as hell. They're so delayed, and I freaking just want to use the Vive tracker ones, but there's no way to disable them in the software, which is freaking awful. And if they don't fix that, I'm gonna be really upset because all I want to do is use the trackers I already have, and then have just the knees and the elbows. And I don't think they're gonna add freaking upper chest support, even though the Kinect, I'm pretty sure it does account for that as a separate bone from your hip. Um, I don't even think it would work well, honestly. But if they do, that'll be there too, and that might work. I don't know. I don't think that would be much of a great thing to have made by the Kinect though. It'll be really cursed. It barely knows which way you're facing most of the time anyway. Right now I have it connected to me turning, and it turns my feet as well, which is really cursed because it doesn't look right at all. Also, I can't like turn around in real life as far as I can tell. Well, let's see. Does it work? It does. Kinda. Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah. Yeah, not really. I mean, you can exist facing the other way. Also, you can't. Even worse, you can't even face sideways because it kind of just does that. It's actually worse than facing the complete opposite direction of the camera. There's still no support for using two webcams or the Kinect. However, Driver for VR does support using cameras, except, well, my room kind of just has shit all over it and it didn't work at all. I haven't tried it with just like a blank wall. Um, Something I'll probably look into at some point, but the Kinect actually works pretty kind of somewhat well sometimes, maybe. Um, yeah, I wouldn't. If it were me, I'd probably just use it for the elbow tracking, but unfortunately, I can't disable the rest of it unless I like do something cursed when I calibrate, because then it'll just be a bunch of trackers that don't do anything. Um, but yeah, it's just a little insight of what you expect if you ever end up using the Xbox Kinect's freaking bullshit that it does. I also might try at some point. I want to try using, what's it called? The Driver for VR has like these QR code looking things you stick on boxes, and you put them all over the box, and you like train the thing. You show all sides of the box, and then it can like make a tracker out of that, and it doesn't have to be on your foot. It just uses that webcam. And there's also another software that does that. Driver for VR only lets you do 3 of them. But if you used April tags and then you also use Driver for VR, you can have 4 trackers. You can actually have 6 trackers. But I would probably just use 4. I don't know how big that would have to be. Freaking, you would still want to rotate your arms, I feel like, if you had those on. I don't know how great that would be. Um, Something I want to look into. First, I have to get like a working printer. The printer I have right now has like the iPod scroll wheel. It's from like 12 years ago, but yeah, this is really fun to play with. I might do it just for this. I still have, actually had one of my friends. One of my friends bought me the whole like 3 Vive trackers to go with my index, because I already had base stations, and well, at first I think he only gave me like enough for just one tracker, so I only had one tracker. And it kind of sucked because I just had one tracker. I didn't have feet tracking. And I don't know. I didn't think I used it with the connector. I don't even think I tried. I just used the freaking QR codes on the boxes on my feet. And it didn't even like, it would move at like 1 frame per second. That was when like when that first came out. Like, I'm pretty sure I was still using the non-Steam version of Driver for VR at the time, and the Steam version had like the better version of it, because the version I had, it wouldn't even let you make a hip tracker. It would have like a fake one that would like use your head's orientation and shit, so it wasn't good. So what I did is I just made the virtual hip be like 1,000,000 feet in the air, so VR chat would just ignore it and let me calibrate normally. And it worked. It wasn't great. All I was able to do was like I could sit down and I could like put my feet there, and if I moved my feet, they would move around in like 1 frame per second. Um, but you could sit down, and that was pretty cool. That was like the first time I was able to experience that and not have it be the Kinect or my hip going all over the place. Um, but God, there's something else I wanted to say, and now I don't remember what it was. Oh, driver. I couldn't use the Steam version of Driver for VR because I requested the Steam key, and it took them like, God, I don't even know. It took them like 6 months to actually give it to me. I got the email for it. I was like, oh yeah, I didn't think they would actually like. I thought they just like forgot, but no. Apparently it just takes 6 months sometimes or something. I don't know. Steam has like a thing where you can't give out a million Steam keys at once or something. So that's why that happened. It was a whole thing, dude. This whole thing just to get to this point, and was it worth it? I don't know. I have nothing else to do with my life, so this is what I'm spending. I'm spending it on. But anyway, that's it. That's the end of the video. Goodbye.